Good morning, Primary 3 Math, second term 2021. Here we have chapter 3, lesson 87. Okay. We have some objectives here. We will recognize how to find equal proper fractions using different models. And we will compare fractions using, same numerator. And we will test your hypothesis in this comparison. And we will solve various problems on it. Our keywords here is proper fractions, different models, equal proper fractions, compare fractions with the same numerator, and test your hypothesis. Our tools is booklet, pencil, ruler, notebook. Okay. If you know that how to represent proper fractions, then can you deduce many equal proper fractions using these models? Can? Okay, let's go. Watch this video about deducing equal proper fractions using models. Then back to work. Okay. Now let's do this activity about equal fractions. We have to read, think, then draw. A mother made a cake for her 2 kids. Using her knife, she will cut these cakes. Equally among her 2 kids in many ways. If she divides it into 2 equal parts like this, then I will divide this cake into 2 equal parts. Then the fraction will be here what? Half. And this fraction is called half. Then each kid will have how many? It will be half of the cake. Okay, next one, if she uses her knife to divide this cake into 4 equal parts like this, then each part is called fourth. Each part is a fourth. Then each kid will have how many? How many parts? Each kid will have 2 parts. It's called 2 fourths. Then each kid will have 2 fourths. Here, if she uses her knife one more time to divide each cake into 8 equal parts. 8 equal parts like this. Then each part is called eighths. Each part is an eighth. Okay. Then each kid will have how many parts out of 8? 4 parts out of 8. Excellent job. Then each kid will have 4 eighths. Now, what did you notice here? Half, 2 fourths, and 4 eighths. What is the relation between them? Okay, they are all equal in value. Half equal 2 fourths equal 4 eighths. Good job. Our notice here, if she divides it into 7 equal parts. If I divide this cake into 7 equal parts, can you give the 2 kids equal shares? Think a lot. If 7 can be divided equally into 2 kids? Yes or no? It's no. It can't be. Why? Why it can't be? Because 7 it can't divide it by 2 because it's an odd number. Okay, 7 is an odd number. Okay, good job. Here we have another activity on this part. We will read, think, then draw. Fadi and Rami and Muhammad and Amr want to share 2 square clay equally. They are how many friends? 4 friends. Okay, and when they will share how many squares? 2 squares equally among these 4 friends. Then, if I cut this into 2 parts and this one into 2 parts, then each one will have half. Good job. This part is called half, 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 half. Then we have how many half here? 4 halves. If I give the first one to the first friend and second one and third one, and the fourth one. Anyone here is left? No, then we, yes, divide it equally among them. Then the share of each one will be half. Good job. Another one, in the same page, we have to read and think and draw between them in another way. Okay, if I cut it like this, and one more time like this, how many parts in each square? Here we have 4 parts, and here we have 4 parts. Yeah, then this name is called, yes, a fourth. Then each one of them will have how many parts? Yes, 2 parts out of 4. 2 parts here out of 4, like this. 2 fourths, yes. If I give the first one 2 fourths, and second, and third, and fourth, then anyone left here? No, then the share of each one will be 2 fourths. Another one, on the same page, I want to make it in a different way. If I cut it like this, and one more time like this, and one more time like this, how many parts in each square? Here we have 8 parts, and here we have 8 parts. Then each one will have how many parts out of 8? Yes, excellent job. 4 parts out of 8. 4 eighths. Then, like this, the first one will have 4 eighths, 4 eighths, 4 eighths, and the last one will have 4 eighths. Anyone left here? No, then they are divided equally. The share will be 4 eighths. Good job. And the last one, we will divide these shapes into 4 equal parts by different way. If I cut it like this, and one more time like this, and like this, and like this, it must be equally, okay? Then this square have how many parts? Yes, 16. If I count it, yes, it will be 16 parts here, and here will be, yes, 16 parts. Then each friend will have how many parts out of 16? Yes, good job. It will be 8 parts out of 16, like this. Then I will take the first one, yes, second one, third one, and the last one. Anyone left here? No, then the share will be 8/16. Our conclusion of this exercise will be, yes, I want to divide each square equally, yes, among between 4 friends. First one will be half, second one will be 2 fourths, third one, yes, it will be 4 eighths, and the last one will be 8/16. What did you notice here? Half, 2 fourths, 4 eighths, 8/16. What is the relation between them all? What is the relation between them? Yes, all of them are equal in value. Half equal 2 fourths equal 4 eighths equal 8/16. Good job. Now let's go into a new concept. What is this video about? Comparing proper fractions of the same numerators. Then back to work. We have some exercises here. Note the input greater than or smaller than or equal to. Here we have to compare fractions of the same numerator. Here we have half of pizza and the fourth of this pizza. Which is bigger, half or fourth? Yes, half, because when the denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Okay, let's go to another one. Here we have 5 sixths and 5 ninths. Which is bigger, 5 sixths or 5 ninths? 5 parts out of 6, 5 parts out of 9. Yes, it's 5 sixths, because when the denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Okay, another exercise on this part. Here we have 2 thirds, 2 parts out of 3, or 2 sevenths, 2 parts out of 7. Look at the denominator. Here we have 3 and here we have 7. When the denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Okay, then 2/3 is bigger than 2/7. Good job. Let's go to another one. Here we have half. Here we have 8. Look at the denominator. Here we have 2 and here we have 8. We learned before that when the denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Then half is more than or less than 8. Yes, more than 8. Good job. Now let's go to evaluate this part. Just press pause, then play to listen to our explanation. Here we have, yes, 4 forces, and here we have 8 eighths. 4 forces equals 1, and 8 eighths equals 1. Then they are equal. Equal. We shade all parts here and all parts here. Okay. Now let's go here. How many parts in all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then write in our denominator 7. And how many shaded parts? It will be 3 in our numerator. The another one, how many whole parts? It will be 4 in denominator. And the shaded part will be 3 in our numerator. Now, look at the denominator. 7 and 4. Okay, when the denominator gets smaller, the fraction, yes, gets bigger. Then 3/7 is smaller than or more than 3/4 or 3/4. Yes, it's smaller than 3/4. Okay, thanks. Good job. Now let's go to a new concept. We will explore and explain comparing proper fractions of the same numerator. Test your hypothesis. You must test your hypothesis using this QR code to explore and explain it. Okay. Now let's go to solve some exercises. Here we have read, draw, and solve the questions. Test your hypothesis. What is the meaning of hypothesis? Yes, use your own way to prove anything. Okay, you're thinking, how you think about it. Okay, how you think about solving it. Using any model, using any way. Okay, which fraction is smaller, 5/7 or 2/7? Use a model to prove your answer and write a comparison statement using smaller than or more than. Now let's go to present each fraction, 5/7. Then we will divide a fraction strip onto how many parts? Yes, into 7 parts, 7 equal parts like this. And we will dash how many parts? Yes, 5 parts like this. This fraction is called 5/7. Another one, it will be 2/7. I will divide the fraction strip in how many parts? Yes, 7 parts. And we will color how many parts? Yes, 2 parts only. This fraction is called 2/7. Then which is bigger, 5/7 or 2/7? Yes, 5/7 is more than 2/7. Good job. Next one. What is your hypothesis in comparing between 3/5 and 3/8? There are proper fractions of common numerator. Then use the number line to prove your answer. Then write a comparison statement using smaller than or more than. He asked us to use our number line. Then draw his number line. First fraction is called 3/5. Then we will draw number line divided into how many parts? Yes, look at the denominator, it will be 5 parts, like this. We will draw a number line and divide it in 5 equal parts like this. Then we draw just 4 dashes, okay? Now, put our fraction on it, it will be here, fifths, 2/5, it will be here 3/5, like this. Now, the second fraction, 3/8. We will divide the number line in how many parts? Yes, in 8 parts. Look at the denominator. It will be like this. We will divide this fraction number line into 8 equal parts. We will draw how many dashes? Yes, 7 dashes like this. Then count 8s, 2 8s. It will be here 3 8s like this. Okay. Then compare. Which is farther from 0? 3/5 or 3/8? Yes, it will be 3/5 is more than 3/8, like this. We will write down 3/5 is more than 3/8. Another way, when look at the denominator, when the denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Then 3/5 is more than 3/8. Good job. Now let's go to another exercise. Here we have fifths and half. We have here number line and fraction strip. Use your number line and fraction strip to write it. Here, fifths, we will color how many parts here out of 5? Yes, it's just one part. And half, we will color here how many parts out of 2? Yes, just one part out of 2. Which is bigger, fifths or half? Yes, it will be half. Another way, look at the denominator. Which is gets smaller, the fraction is bigger. Okay, now next one, 3/4, 3/4, and 3/8. Here we have the first number line divided into how many parts? 4 parts. Then we will color how many parts? Just 3 parts, like this. Another one, it will be 3/8. We divide this fraction number line into how many parts? Yes, 8 parts. And we will color how many parts here? Yes, 3 parts. Which is bigger, 3/4 or 3/8? Yes, you are right. It will be 3/4 because it's farther from 0 than 3/8. Okay, then it will be more than. Another way, look at the denominator, which is gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Good job. Here we have another exercise, put more than or less than or equal to. Here we have 2 6s and 2 9s. Which is bigger? Yes, we look at the denominator. Here we have 6 and here we have 9. When the denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Then, yes, good job. 2 6s is more than 2 9s. Here we have 5 8s and 5 6s. Look at the denominator. Here we have 8 and here we have 6. When the number in denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Then 5 8 is smaller than 5 6s. Awesome. Let's go to another one. Here we have 1 ones and here we have, yes, half. Which is bigger? Yes, it's sure 1. Here we have 5,500 and 5,501. Here we have, which is bigger? Look at the denominator. Here we have a smaller denominator, then this fraction is bigger than this fraction. Then it's called more than. Good job. Here we will evaluate our work. Just press pause, then press play to listen to our explanation. Here we have third and half. Which is bigger? Yes, half, because when the denominator gets smaller, the value of this fraction gets bigger. Then half is more than third. Let's go here, 8 tenths and 8 eighths. Look at the denominator here, 10 and 8. Which is smaller? Yes, it's 8. Then the value of this fraction is bigger than this. It will be like this. Here we have 4 sevenths and 4 fourths. Look at the denominator here, 7 and here 4. Which is smaller? Yes, here. Then the value of this fraction is bigger than this. Here we have 7 twelfths and 7 19th. It will be, look at the denominator, here we have 12ths and 19ths. Which is smaller? Yes, the value of this fraction is bigger than this. It will be like this. Good job. Now, let's go to our conclusion of our lesson. We comparing between fractions using the same numerators. First of all, we have the concept of proper fractions, reducing equal proper fractions using models on our activities. Here we have comparing fractions using models, and we test our hypothesis about this comparison. Now let's go to our keywords of the next lesson, 88. It will be large numbers in order, proper fractions, representing proper fractions using models, and adding fractions. Goodbye. Thank you.